Are you thinking about upgrading the charger that came with your ready-to-fly model airplane, or has your current charger proved a bit underwhelming? If so, you'll want to take a look at this dual multi-chemistry charger from EVP. If you're just starting out in flying electric RC airplanes or racing RC cars, you've probably noticed a bunch of choices when it comes to battery chargers. This charger from EVP has all the standard features you'll want, plus a couple of features that set this charger apart from the crowd. Before we jump in, please click the thumbs up button below the video if you find this video helpful, and subscribe to the RCPlaneviews channel here on YouTube. Click the bell icon to be notified when I post new videos. Likes and subscriptions are important on YouTube, so I really appreciate those of you who take the few extra seconds to make those extra clicks. So let's get started. As an overview, let's take a quick look at the standard features and extras found in this charger. We'll look at the device and controls in just a second. In terms of standard features for chargers in this category, this device can charge a variety of battery chemistries. Most models use lithium-ion or lithium polymer batteries, and this charger will handle them easily. You may also need a charger for a NiCad or nickel metal hydride receiver battery. Again, this charger will handle them too. It will also charge lithium iron phosphate or LiFe batteries as well as lead-acid batteries. It will handle up to 6-cell Lipo batteries and up to 10 amps charge current. As with many chargers, it will also charge or discharge a Lipo battery to its proper storage voltage and cycle NiCad and nickel metal hydride batteries. So, what sets this charger apart? First, it's a dual charger. While charging two batteries at a time isn't new, the fact that this doesn't split the total charge capability between the two chargers is a big deal. Many low-cost dual chargers claim to charge at 100 watts of power, but that means 100 watts is the maximum for both together. If you set the chargers to exceed the total of 100 watts, the charger will drop the power to stay within the device's limits. With the EVP charger, the 100-watt limit is per charger, so that the total available wattage is 200 watts. Next, this charger can be powered by an AC or DC power source. I'm lucky that at my primary flying field, AC power is available. In this case, I can just plug the charger into an outlet and I'm ready to go. Of course, that applies at home too. In locations where AC isn't available, you can bring along a larger 12-volt lead-acid battery to power your charger. No need to have a separate power supply. This charger also has a digital power mode that can be used as a DC power source for a variety of DC devices. That basically means that the charger's power supply can be used as you might use any other external power supply. The voltage and amperage for this mode is adjustable through the menu. The last thing I want to mention before showing you what's inside the box and how the charger works is that the charger comes with an additional Lipo high voltage charge mode. High voltage Lipo batteries can be charged up to 4.35 volts per cell instead of the standard maximum voltage of 4.2 volts per cell. If you have some Lipo HV batteries, this is a very handy feature. You'll want to make sure you don't charge a standard Lipo to the higher voltage, however. You greatly increase the chance for a fire or overcharge venting event. So let's take a look at what's in the box and give you a quick overview of the common charging procedures. Okay, so here's the box that the EVP Duo balance charger comes in. It's a pretty nice box, pretty heavy. It came through the shipping problem without any trouble. And so that's all good, but what's in the box is what's important. So let's take a look at that next. Okay, so here is the charger itself. You see that we've got a charger on the left, a charger on the right, a balance port or balance card that plugs in, and a T connector for the charge lead, and then the same thing on the other side. It also comes with a cord with banana plugs on it, but an XT60 connector, and this is the cord that's used to power it with a 12-volt source. So your 12-volt source will have to have the sockets for this banana plug type connector, and it just plugs in right over here. I'll show you that here in just a second. And then of course it has the AC cord, just 110 volt cord for the United States, 3 plugs so that you can make sure you've got it all plugged in correctly, the plus and the minus and the ground. And so that is what is there coming from the box. And then last but not least is the instruction manual. And that lists the kinds of performance, the specifications, and then it explains the various functions. And it's a pretty good set of instructions. They're pretty easy to understand. And so I would spend a little bit of time with this if you're new to these kinds of chargers. So let's take a close-up look at the charger itself, some of the ports and so forth. The display is right here. The various buttons are right here, the start and enter, the mode and the stop. Essentially it's labeled ESC or escape. And then an up and down labeled decrease or increase. And then that's the same on both sides. On the end of the charger is a voltage selector switch, and it's got a little cover on it. So if you're looking for it, you have to peel it back. And there you can set the input to the power supply in this charger to either 110 or 240 volts, depending upon where in the world you are. Here's the AC input cord, plus, minus, the balance tap connector, and a temperature connector, which are all pretty common. In terms of the temperature connector, it explains how to use it, but it doesn't come with one, and frankly I haven't been able to find one. So, but it is there, and then the various balance things. So it has the plugs for up to 6 cells with the ground, and so make sure that you get that plug put in the right way and all the way seated. Okay, so on this side, we've got pretty much the same thing. You've got the outlet for the fan that comes on automatically when it gets warm, that XT60 connector for 11 to 18 volt DC input to run the power supply. You've got the plus and the minus, the balance board connector, and again, a temperature input for the charger on this side. The charger is well built. It's in an aluminum case. It's fairly heavy, which should indicate a good quality charger. So let's take a moment and turn it on, and we'll go through a couple of the menu settings just to give you an idea of how that all works. So here you can see we have the charger plugged in, and the last setting that I used was the Lipo balance charging. I had a 4-cell battery, a 2200 milliamp, so it's charging at 2.2 amps. Now, if I want to change the various menu options for Lipo, I can use the plus and minus here, and I can go through. I can set to go to storage. I can set it to discharge. I can do it to fast charge, which I wouldn't recommend as it excludes the balancing circuitry of the charger. And then I go back to balance charging. Now in the mode or the ESC button over on this side, I can change the various battery chemistry. So I can go into program select, then I have a Lipo battery, I press it again, I have a lithium ion battery, I have a lithium iron oxide or a life battery, press it again, here's that lithium high voltage setting for those batteries. That'll take 4.35 volts per cell. Here is nickel metal hydride and NiCad. And again, in these, you can press the And when you get what you want, you can just press enter, and then it becomes that type of charger. So it knows the kind of current, and then you can set the current for the proper charge for the size battery you have. And then again, with these buttons, you can set some things like the current limit. You can set it to discharge. Nickel metal hydride and NiCads, you sometimes want to cycle, so you can set it into cycle mode and so forth. So those are the various settings in terms of choosing the battery chemistry that you want to use. PB is lead acid, so if you had a hobby-sized lead acid battery that you like to carry around with you to maybe run the charger, you could charge that battery off this charger when you were home. And then here is the program for digital power, which turns the charger into a digital power supply. And then again, when you select it, you have menu choices. As you saw that the 1 amp starts to flash, you can change it, drive it up or down, and then you can also change the voltage on this power mode. So that's kind of a pretty handy thing. So we'll go back to Program Select. You can save to memory, so if you like to use memories, you can set a particular set of criteria, assign that to a memory, and then just go to the memory, and then you don't have to worry about setting up your charger. I generally don't like to use memories. It is so easy to change these just by pressing Start. You can change the cell count, press it again. You can change the milliamp hours, and then you can get it started. And that way you don't mistake what you might have in your memory and overcharge a battery. But again, that's technique only. So that's the basic menu controls of this duo balance charger. This one over here works exactly the same way. Overall, I'm impressed with this dual charger from EVP. It's a full-featured charger that will allow you to handle just about any charging situation you'll need in the RC plane or RC car category. The charger seems well made, and the various controls are easy to access and manipulate. As mentioned earlier, the fact that each charger can handle the rated output without splitting the capacity between the two is a nice feature, and the addition of a Lipo high voltage setting will give those of you using those batteries access to their full capacity. If you're like me, you probably have a bunch of different battery ends. You'll need to purchase charge leads for those that aren't the T or Dean style connectors that come with the charger. I'll link to an Octopus style charge lead in the video description below. Again, if you found this video helpful, please click the thumbs up button below this and subscribe to the RC Planeviews channel. Click the bell icon to be notified when I post new videos. And thanks for watching.